Hey guys, so I'm taking to YouTube for this because it's the one social media platform, if you want to call it that not many people know me on. I'm going to put a hat on because my hair's all over the place here. Anyway, so this whole national quarantine, or whatever you want to call it, thing is kind of ridiculous. We're not actually going to prevent much, and yes, this might not sound like it's based on scientific fact or anything like that, but more based on kind of a rough, basic understanding of history. Okay, I'm not 100% history buff, but the idea of what it does to society is very important. We're looking at the rapid downfall of society if we continue this idea of telling people basically to lock themselves up in their houses. It's not good. It's very unhealthy for society as a whole. And even our president apparently is saying that the cure is worse than the disease. And I'm not really a big supporter of I'm not really for or against the Trump administration. They've done some really good stuff, and some other stuff that's kind of questionable, but I'll leave that for another day. The point being, though, is regardless of what party line, whose president you think is whose, and everything else like that, the international community is all on board with this idea. And even I have good friends that are believing this whole thing, stay at home, stay the fuck home, as they say sometimes. It's like, why? Why are we doing this? It's not going to help. I mean, yes, reducing crowds might help, but the fact is that even though we're doing this already, this thing is still spreading. And two things about the current statistics people are talking about. One of them is that they're saying that, now the United States has the most cases of this pandemic disease. At the same time, those numbers, even if that is the case, don't reflect specific cases, how severe those cases are. They don't get into the actual details or mathematics of how dangerous this really is, just saying we have the most cases. Well, we just happen to be one of the most populous countries in the entire globe, so that's going to happen. And in fact, the fact that we have these quarantines in place, all this other parameters, I'm basically put out of work to a certain extent because of the fact that I work in a tourism town, a beach town. They're closing not only the beach parking, and now they're closing, at least this weekend, they're trying to close the beach effectively, except to non-locals, supposedly, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And I'm sorry, it's bullshit. It's ridiculous. Based entirely on, if you want to say, scientific fact of my own life. Okay, I'm a former asthmatic. I was an asthmatic when I was a kid. I rarely get sick anymore, and partly because I've been spending so much time outside in the ocean air for the last 8 years here in Florida and in California, or hiking mountains in California and things like that. Being outside actually has helped my respiratory system, has helped me be a healthier person. I don't have asthmatic problems anymore. On occasion I'll smoke a cigar and I can hold my breath for at least a minute at a time if necessary, and not be too uncomfortable with that, while running for that matter. So I know what did that was being outside. Okay, inside air is recirculated. It's not very well cleaned. It's constantly pumped through all these air conditioning and heating systems that we use for years and years and never clean them. So no matter how clean you think your ventilation system is, it's not that great. In fact, being inside is actually worse, I would say, for your health than anything else. And yes, you can say, oh, you're not a scientist, you're not a health expert, you're not a doctor, you're not a nurse, whatever, so what? The problem is that, for one, we're destroying society, we're destroying people's health by thinking we're making it better. Because the vast majority of people that are getting impacted by this whole thing are people that don't have the disease at all. This is not the philosophy of this nation, which is innocent until proven guilty. Now we're basically saying guilty until proven innocent. What we're saying is that just in case you have this thing, because we can't prove it and we can't test everybody, then we're going to make you lock yourself down simply in case you have it. That's very wrong. The actual disease now is fear. The actual disease, the actual virus now is this pandemic of people being scared of the stupid thing in the first place. So we've basically keeled over and said, okay, you win to this virus. And that is not the way that things should work. Okay. I'm not expecting anyone to watch this video and 100% agree with it, because we're always going to disagree. In fact, the fact that we disagree even on small points means that we're able to think on our own. Okay, I want to listen to people that disagree with me for that matter. But again, to keep this short, we need to end the general closing of businesses, quarantine people, that encourage people to quarantine themselves if they are sick, yes. Encourage people to do the right thing if, if they feel symptoms, whatever else, that's one way to do it. But to force everyone else who may or may not have the disease to suddenly force themselves into quarantine as if we're going to stop this thing. If it can mutate as they think it can, or whatever else they're thinking, if they think it's so dangerous, it's going to find its way through regardless. Because there are jobs that still need to go. The only way you could really lock it down is to make everyone stop all at once, just cease activity, which means that truckers would not be able to get around, medical professionals would not be able to do their job, and all sorts of things that we consider essential businesses couldn't work anymore, which means the entire society would just lock up, and the entire society is like a machine. It's supposed to keep functioning. Shutting it down unnecessarily, like a power plant, without any sort of backup system, wreaks havoc, and that's just what we're doing. The entire global economy, everything else, we're just shutting it down. And this YouTube video is not going to save the world. I'm not expecting that. But it's something that if you're watching this, and if you've had the patience to watch it all the way through the 7 minutes of time that it's going to be, then I hope you consider it, and I hope you mildly disagree at least with some of the things I say. If you don't disagree with the entire thing as a whole, I don't care what you agree with or disagree with. I'd like to hear your opinions. Leave a comment below. Like it if you want to. Whatever. I'm a local here, so I'm just going to go out and surf anyway, because even if the beaches are closed, I live here. What am I going to do? I got nothing else to do. I'm out of work. Alright, talk to you later. Peace. Stay swell.